Few people have the courage to admit this, but most are not truly seeking people, they are seeking anesthesia. Company has become an escape, not connection. And perhaps the most painful part is not being alone, but realizing that even surrounded by others, something inside remains empty. The paradox is simple and uncomfortable. The more you try to fit in, the further you get from your purpose. This is exactly why the chosen feel out of place from an early age. Perhaps you've spent your whole life thinking something was wrong with you, that you think too much, feel too much, question too much. But what if this isn't a flaw? What if this restlessness is a calling, a counterintuitive truth that almost nobody tells you? Purpose is not born in noise, it is born in silence. And whoever runs from silence runs from themselves and from what they were called to become. If at any point you felt alone, even while doing everything right, this video is for you. Comment below if this message is already starting to make sense. Hit the like so this content reaches more chosen ones, and subscribe to the channel because what you're about to hear could completely change the way you see solitude, relationships, and your own path. There is a subtle and brutal difference between seeking company and living with purpose. Ordinary people, often unconsciously, use external noise as anesthesia for the internal void. They are always surrounded, chatting, scrolling, scheduling something, anything to avoid facing silence. After all, being alone is confronting questions with no ready-made answers. And let's be honest, not everyone wants that confrontation right away. Silence, in fact, is often the greatest enemy of those who run from themselves. It doesn't distract, praise, or flatter. It asks questions. That's why so many avoid being alone, like someone avoiding a mirror on a bad day. The chosen, however, feel a strange, almost uncomfortable call toward the same silence. Not because they enjoy solitude, but because something inside them knows that direction, not escape, resides there. Purpose, unlike company, demands courage to walk without applause or distraction. It requires solitude, self-knowledge, and often a sincere conversation with God away from the noise of the world. Not everyone can handle this path, and that's okay, each person in their own time. But those who feel this calling realize early that always walking accompanied can delay the encounter with what truly matters, and that initial discomfort sets the stage for something even deeper that comes next. From an early age, many chosen ones carry a difficult-to-explain sense of not belonging. Even as children, they notice they don't fully fit into groups, shallow conversations, or meaningless play. It's not arrogance nor forced isolation. It's an inner perception that there is something beyond, something not yet named but calling. While others feel comfortable in the collective, they feel slightly out of tune, like someone born for a different frequency. Over time, this difference becomes more evident. Superficial connections tire them, empty conversations drain energy, and maintaining social masks becomes exhausting. Questions are deeper, restlessness more intense, and inevitably, this distances some people. Not by direct rejection, but because not everyone likes to be confronted by questions they've never asked themselves. The chosen learn early that depth scares those who prefer the surface. This solitude, however, is not a flaw, it's a signal. A spiritual sensitivity above average allows the chosen to perceive nuances others ignore. They feel atmospheres, intentions, and silences, and though it may hurt, it also prepares. Because before walking clearly alongside others, one must learn to sustain their own presence. And it is precisely here that solitude begins to reveal an even more important role in the process of inner formation. In many moments, it seems God separates before he uses. Isolation comes unannounced, like a forced pause nobody asked for, but that imposes itself. For the chosen, this period is not punishment, it is training. Away from distractions and outside opinions, the soul begins to align. It is in this silent space that uncomfortable truths emerge and internal strengths are honed, one by one. Silence, though uncomfortable at first, sharpens discernment. Without the constant noise of external voices, the chosen learns to better hear their own conscience and the spiritual direction guiding them. Small decisions carry more weight, and previously automatic choices become conscious. Like an athlete training off stage, they develop inner resilience while no one is watching. Gradually, something rare emerges, the ability to sustain oneself from within. The chosen understands that depending emotionally on company weakens purpose. Those who cannot endure being alone hardly support the responsibility of carrying something greater. And when this internal foundation strengthens, it becomes clear that not all solitude is absence. Some are silent preparation for changes that also impact the relationships around them. When purpose awakens, many things that once seemed stable begin to shake. Relationships that flowed effortlessly now demand too much energy, and conversations that once connected now feel misaligned. It's not malice nor ingratitude, it's energetic incompatibility. Internal growth changes rhythm, vision, and even values, and not everyone can or wants to keep up with this silent transformation. Many people didn't fall in love with who you are now, but with who you were. They liked the accessible, available version that didn't confront, the version that molded itself to fit. When the chosen starts to stand up, to say no and prioritize purpose, that old version disappears. And then come misunderstandings, distancing, and in some cases, sudden silence. Growth exposes differences previously hidden by convenience. The crucial point is to understand that separation is not rejection, it's alignment. Some departures hurt because they come without explanation, but they bring liberation. It's not about losing people, it's about freeing space. Purpose does not align with relationships based on dependence or fear, and when this becomes clear, the chosen realizes that the greatest risk is not being alone, it's abandoning themselves while trying to maintain connections that have already served their purpose. There is a silent risk when the chosen tries to fit in. They begin negotiating their own purpose for acceptance. Small concessions become habits, and habits become a life that makes no sense. To avoid being alone, many diminish themselves, laugh at what isn't funny, agree to what violates their values. Outwardly, it looks like adaptation. Inwardly, it's the erosion of identity. Over time, this effort to fit exacts a high price. The soul tires, the body responds, and the mind enters conflict. This is what happens when someone becomes spiritually ill trying to please. The chosen feels like they're living an edited version of themselves, always concerned about not displeasing, always afraid of losing people. The problem is, by trying to keep everyone close, they lose themselves. Denying the calling has an invisible but deep cost. It doesn't show immediately, but manifests as frustration, emptiness, and the feeling of being late in life. Purpose doesn't shout, but it persists, and the more the chosen tries to mold themselves to the wrong environment, the further they are from the peace they seek. This discomfort, which seems like punishment, actually points to something essential: learning to differentiate purpose from neediness. How to know if you are guided by purpose and not neediness? One of the first signs that someone is guided by purpose, not neediness, is comfort with silence. It doesn't mean loving to be alone all the time, but not needing constant noise to feel whole. The chosen notices that moments of solitude bring clarity, not anxiety. While neediness demands immediate distraction, purpose sustains calm even when no one else is around. Another revealing point is the clarity that emerges even in solitude. Decisions begin to align with values, not impulses. Momentary pleasures lose force in the face of greater goals. This is when someone chooses to sleep early instead of going out aimlessly, study instead of fleeing their own life, care for their mind and spirituality instead of numbing emotions. not out of obligation, but because something internal demands coherence. The ability to say no also signals spiritual maturity. The chosen learns that not every invitation is an opportunity, and that peace is worth more than approval. Where there was once fear of displeasing, there is now calm firmness. This change doesn't happen overnight, but when it does, it delivers a powerful indicator. Less distraction, more direction. And this direction begins pointing to a different and strategic use of alone time. At some point, the chosen understands that solitude can be raw material, not punishment. Instead of using alone time to compare or lament, they begin to build, reading books that expand the mind, studying subjects that strengthen character, developing skills that bring them closer to purpose. Authors like Napoleon Hill, James Allen, or even deep spiritual texts start to make more sense than shallow conversations. Spirituality ceases to be just talk and becomes daily practice. The chosen learns to care for the mind, organize thoughts, strengthen values, and observe emotional patterns. It is in this space that long-term vision emerges. While many live reacting to the day, they start planning life like building a solid house, foundation, direction, and patience. Solitude becomes fertile ground for clarity and strategy. Over time, something changes definitively. The need to explain themselves disappears. The chosen understands that those who don't live the calling will hardly comprehend the process, and that's fine. Identity strengthens when it doesn't rely on external validation. This silent power makes no noise, yet sustains difficult decisions. And when this posture consolidates, life begins to respond in unexpected ways. When the chosen stops seeking company out of fear and begins living aligned with purpose, something curious happens. The right people begin to appear. Not in large numbers, but in depth. Relationships stop being about filling voids and become about adding to journeys. Conversations become more truthful, bonds lighter, and the sense of having to perform nearly disappears. With less external noise, internal direction becomes clearer. The chosen realizes they were spending too much energy maintaining connections that had no future. By letting go, space opens to grow. The mind slows, decisions gain coherence, and life begins to make more sense. Less distraction, more focus. Less emotional urgency, more clear purpose. Alignment with the mission brings a different peace, not fleeting euphoria, but firm tranquility that sustains. The priority shifts from being accompanied to being at peace with oneself and with God. And when this priority changes, everything around reorganizes. This new inner state prepares the ground for a final, direct call, the one that separates those who merely listened from those who truly understood. When the chosen stops seeking company out of fear and begins living aligned with purpose, something curious happens. The right people begin to appear. Not in large numbers, but in depth. Relationships stop being about filling voids and become about adding to journeys. Conversations become more truthful, bonds lighter, and the sense of having to perform nearly disappears. With less external noise, internal direction becomes clearer. The chosen realizes they were spending too much energy maintaining connections that had no future. By letting go, space opens to grow. The mind slows, decisions gain coherence, and life begins to make more sense. Less distraction, more focus. Less emotional urgency, more clear purpose. Alignment with the mission brings a different peace, not fleeting euphoria, but firm tranquility that sustains. The priority shifts from being accompanied to being at peace with oneself and with God. And when this priority changes, everything around reorganizes. This new inner state prepares the ground for a final, direct call, the one that separates those who merely listened from those who truly understood. If you've made it this far, you need to hear this calmly. You are not late. The time that seemed wasted was actually shaping you. Every phase of silence, every distancing, and every night of questioning served to build something that is not born ready. You are not strange or misplaced. You were simply not made to fit in molds too small for your purpose. Many confuse this process with personal failure, but it is a sign of preparation. The chosen walk paths few would dare, precisely because purpose demands emotional and spiritual courage. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being responsible for what was entrusted to you. And yes, not everyone will understand your choices, pauses, or changes, and that's okay. This is the point where the call stops being theory and becomes decision. Continue seeking approval or fully embrace who you are becoming. If this resonated with you, it's because something has already awakened within. Now, the silent question in the air is simple and powerful. What are you going to do with all of this from now on?
Now that you understand the difference between company and purpose, it's time to apply this in your life. Ask yourself, how many times did I lose myself trying to please or fit in instead of listening to my inner calling? How many relationships did I maintain out of fear of being alone? And how many opportunities for growth did I miss because of it? These questions aren't easy, but they are essential for awakening awareness and action. True transformation happens when you start using solitude as a tool for strengthening, not punishment. Every moment alone can be an investment in self-knowledge, spirituality, clarity of goals, and building your identity. Life doesn't wait, and purpose doesn't adapt to those who don't have the courage to listen. If this content touched you, leave purpose in the comments and share your experience. Like the video so more people on this path can find themselves, and subscribe to the channel with notifications on to continue learning how to walk with purpose, even when everyone around seems to follow a different rhythm. The call is clear. Will you answer?